Snow drifted across the silent square, glittering beneath trembling Christmas lights. The wind whispered through the decorated trees as Ava Lawson sat alone on a frozen bench, clutching her baby while her daughters shivered beside her, praying the night still held a miracle. If you believe in compassion, hope, and second chances, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more stories. Let's begin. Snow swept through the empty town square in trembling spirals, settling on Ava Lawson's coat like tiny frozen reminders of everything she had lost. Willow, only a baby, whimpered against her chest. Sadie and Chloe leaned into her sides, trying to stay awake through the biting cold. 8 months ago, Ava still had a home, a job, and a husband who made the world feel safe. But James's sudden death shattered everything, and grief became a weight that stole her breath. When the bills came, she fell behind. When the job disappeared, she fell further. And when the landlord evicted them 2 days before Christmas, she fell completely. Now she sat alone in the shimmering square, whispering prayers into the icy night, praying the cold wouldn't claim what little she had left. Across the square, Logan Pierce walked with Scout, his German Shepherd service dog, hoping movement would quiet the memories that never truly left him. As a former Navy SEAL, he had learned to navigate danger, loss, and silence, but not the emptiness that followed him home. Then he saw them. A mother hunched over her children, their breaths faint clouds in the frozen air. Something inside him shifted sharply, instinct, empathy, and a familiar ache that told him he couldn't keep walking. He approached slowly, Scout at heel, kneeling so he wouldn't frighten the girls. Ava tried to stand, her voice cracking as she insisted they were fine. But the truth was visible in every tremble, every exhausted breath. "We have nowhere left to go," she whispered. Logan felt anger rise, not at her, but at the world that allowed this. Ava apologized again, as if survival itself required permission. Logan shook his head gently. "You don't need to apologize for doing your best," he said softly. "No mother should be out here on Christmas night." Then he held out his hand, steady, warm despite the cold. Ava hesitated. Trust had become a dangerous luxury. Yet Sadie and Chloe looked up at her with pleading eyes, and baby Willow began to cry from the biting wind. Ava's voice trembled. "Are you sure?" "I'm sure," Logan replied. "Come with me." With a breath that felt like stepping into the unknown, Ava placed her shaking hand into his. It was a small gesture, but the world around them seemed to shift as if even the snow paused for a moment. Inside Logan's truck, warmth wrapped around them like a miracle. Scout curled protectively around the girls while Logan handed them blankets and small packets of food he kept for emergencies. Ava watched her daughters eat quietly, their faces relaxing for the first time in weeks. She felt her own bones release tension she'd been carrying since August. When Logan drove them to his house, a modest place on a quiet road, Ava expected questions, judgment, or suspicion. Instead, he simply opened the door and said, "Take your time. You're safe here." That night, the children slept peacefully on real beds. Ava sat awake for a while, listening to the soft sounds of a warm home. For the first time in months, she didn't fear morning. Days turned into weeks, and slowly, carefully, life began to shift. Logan fixed the girls' boots, repaired their torn mittens, and replaced the broken zipper on Ava's coat without mentioning it. He helped her find stable work nearby, driving her to the interview when nerves threatened to overwhelm her. Scout became the children's guardian, sleeping at their feet and following them through the yard like a furry shadow. Ava's smiles grew more frequent, small at first, then brighter, reaching her eyes in ways they hadn't since James passed. Logan felt himself healing too. The house no longer echoed with silence, the laughter of 3 little girls filled spaces he hadn't realized were empty. Every evening felt less like charity and more like connection. By spring, the snow had melted into soft, bright grass. Sadie and Chloe chased Scout across Logan's backyard while Willow giggled from Ava's arms, sunlight warming her cheeks. Logan stood beside Ava, hands deep in his pockets, watching the three girls with a gentle smile that softened everything about him. What began as a single act of compassion on a freezing Christmas night had become something deeper, a new rhythm, a new purpose, a new beginning neither of them had dared to imagine. Ava looked at Logan and realized the fear that once pressed on her chest had loosened completely. Logan looked back and felt something warm and steady settle into his heart. Some miracles arrive quietly. Some families are found, not born. And sometimes, the coldest Christmas night becomes the moment that saves everyone it touches. Thanks for being here, like and subscribe to keep more unforgettable stories coming.